Here is a zombie named Jeff. He is now dead. Hello, Llama Nation. It is your friend Roscoe McGillicuddy here, and welcome to another episode of Roscoe Plays Games and Does Not Yell at You. Maybe we should call that Rip Gadget or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, today is episode 3 of Building Our Empire in Survival Mode. This has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm sure today will be more of the same. If you haven't seen any of the episodes yet, then what are you doing here in episode 3? You need to go back to episode 1 with the link in the description. Just to quickly recap the previous episodes, we got started by finding a town and finding a few resources. We found a great area for us to build our future fortress on, and I'm still upset about getting that door slammed in my face by that villager named Gerald. I've got to get that guy back somehow. And in today's episode, we are actually going to be building our fortress and exploring the big cave out here in our valley. There should be quite a bit of stuff in that cave, so I'm really excited about exploring it. And yes, by the time this video is over, we will have our fortress. So let's get started. Before I get started too much, I'm going to continue inbreeding my chicken population here at my chicken farm because, like I said in my previous episode, I am a big fan of using the bow and arrow to fight with. I just like to have a lot of distance between my enemies, and to do that I need arrows, and to get arrows I need feathers. So I'm going to continue to grow this chicken population until that whole fence is filled in with chickens. It's going to actually look really ridiculous. But that way I'll be able to get plenty of food and a lot of feathers to make arrows with. See you next time, chickens. But let's go check out this cave back here. Alright, this cave looks huge, and I think it has a lot of promise to get a lot of good stuff. This might be our cave for maybe the entire game. I don't know. We'll see. But right now it looks really, really hard to get in and out of, so I'm going to normalize the entrance and exit just so that I can get in and out more easily. Alright, after a little bit of work, this looks a lot better. Check this out. So I got down to the bottom of this cave. I'm sure it goes down a lot farther later on, but I am immediately at a split, and if you'll remember, I have a great way of keeping myself from getting lost, and that is by laying down a copper block and then putting a torch in the direction of the way out. And then I line my exit with torches on the right-hand side so that I know my way out every time just by following the torches that are on the right-hand side. Hey guys, future me here. While editing this video, I realized I made a mistake while narrating this portion of the video. Normally when I'm exploring a cave and I'm going down deeper into the cave, I will always place the torches on the right like I indicated in the previous video. In this case, because the staircase I made going down into the cave was along the left-hand side of the cave, I had to put the torches along the left. So when I say that I follow the torches on the right to get out of the cave, that is wrong. I follow the torches on the left. But in this case, because they're on the wrong side, I have to do that. But by the time I get to this point anyway, I know I'm out of the cave. So it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but I did want to clear that up. Sorry. Okay, well I found quite a bit of coal down here and a little bit of iron, but overall this section of the cave ended up being a dead end. So I'm going to get all of my torches out of that dead end and I'm going to cap it off. I cover this in episode 2. This is the way that I keep myself from going down dead ends again and not finding anything. So we are back at our split in the cave. This is the dead end section of the cave, and I'm going to cap it off. There, very nice. So now my attention is going to turn to this section of the cave, which looks a little bit more interesting, but we're going to take it slowly, piece by piece, and make sure that we stay safe and find everything that we can out of here. Here is a zombie named Jeff. And he is now dead. Lots of iron down in here. This is great. Got another place down here that looks like it's pretty dark and dangerous, so I'm going to take it very carefully. Ooh, this looks promising. It looks like there's quite a bit down there and more to explore, so that is going to be something I'm going to take care of here in just a little bit. I'm also going to need a lot of flint to make the arrows that I'm intending to make, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a lot of this gravel that I see. And anyway, gravel is pretty useful in and of itself too when you're caving. Oh sweet, look at this. It's our first lapis lazuli. You never know what you're going to find if you just start removing a bunch of gravel. Okay, that took a while, but it got us a good start. So you may remember my method for getting out of a cave quickly and safely is to use copper blocks and torches to mark my way. I use copper blocks at intersections in the cave, and then I use torches to tell me the way out of the cave. So when I see a copper block like this and I see the torch facing in this direction, I know that I will face in that direction to get out of the cave. And that means that torches on the wall will be on my left, meaning I'm on my way towards the exit of the cave. And then when I see another copper block with a torch facing in a certain direction, I'll go in the direction of that torch. So this is what it looks like to get entirely out of this cave using my system. Piece of cake. And of course it's nighttime, so I'm going to have to make a dash for home. It's a new morning, so all the skeletons have blown up in the sun, and that means free arrows, which I am definitely going to be using. And the first few minutes of every morning also mean a lot of creepers because they don't blow up in the sun, so you got to be extra careful for that once the new day dawns. All right, we found a lot of copper, a lot of coal, and a lot of iron, so now we need some ovens to cook it all. Let's go ahead and make them. And while all that stuff cooks, I'm going to go ahead and continue inbreeding my chickens. I'm also in need of some iron pants and iron boots, so let's do it. There we go, now we are fully equipped. One thing I'm going to do while all that stuff cooks is I'm going to get rid of this little layer of dirt out here because I'm kind of tired of jumping over it. There, that's so much nicer.
And now it is time for Deep Thoughts with Roscoe.
Have any of you ever considered the reality of things like Minecraft? Like, how am I even carrying that much dirt on me? I mean, seriously, how am I doing that? And why am I doing that? I mean, I know why in the game, but if this were real life, how would I even do that?
This has been Deep Thoughts with Roscoe. We are really sorry for wasting your time.
Alright, so it is a new morning and my copper and stuff is still cooking. So I'm going to take this opportunity to terraform this path in and out of the town because it's getting on my nerves. It's 1 block by 1 block. I want it to be 3 blocks for each step so that I can easily run up if I need to. So I'm going to make that happen right now. There we go. That is a lot better. May as well take out these free hay bales so that I can make some bread. The townspeople never really seem to mind when you steal from them like this. Hey man, quit stealing our stuff. Okay, well it is a new day, and terraforming that staircase took all day yesterday, which I did not expect, and it also took almost 2 shovels, which I was not expecting either. But we did get all of our iron and our copper finally cooked. That took forever as well, so now we're well equipped. And now I'm going to go ahead and start planning out the fortress. Before I get started, this is a good opportunity to do some more chicken inbreeding. Okay, so we are here in the valley and we are looking right at the entrance to the cave that we are going to be exploring. And like I said in the previous episode, I want to build my fortress nearby that. So I'm going to build it right in front of there. When we come out of the cave, I don't want to run right into the back of my fortress. So I'm going to build it off to the side just a little bit so that we can just run right around it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lot of the gravel that I found to just lay out the foundation of the building. I'm not going to build the building just yet. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But right now I'm just going to build out the shape so that you can see the design of what I'm going to do. Okay guys, so I have laid out the foundation of what my fortress is going to look like just in gravel. For right now, we're going to harvest the stones to actually make the walls in just a minute. But this will be the front door. All of this will be all my business area where I sleep, where I cook all my stuff, where I have all my chests and things like that. This back room is going to be a special room specifically for the enchanting table and all the bookcases that go along with it. And there will also be an underground room for the nether portal as well. So when the sun rises the next morning, we are going to go ahead and start harvesting all of the blocks needed for this. Gerald. Bro. Okay, it is a new morning and now we are going to go ahead and get all of the cobblestone that we need to make stone bricks to make this fortress. This fortress is going to be 4 or 5 blocks high, and it's going to have all the walls in the places that you see here where all this gravel is, so we need to get quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I have counted, and it'll take over 700 blocks to do all of the walls, inside and out, and the roof, and the turrets that you'll see on the top as well. So let's go ahead and get started in quarrying this rock. Alright guys, look, since this part of the fortress building process is really long and boring, I figured I would take this time to start a new segment I'm calling Real Talk with Roscoe. If I like how it goes and you guys enjoy it, I'll try to include one of these segments in each of my Let's Play videos, so we'll see where it goes. But let's start with a question that I get asked all the time. People ask, Roscoe, how did you get so successful at YouTube? Many of you, I'm sure, would like to grow your channels too, so I will share my story with you here. First of all, when I started my channel, I never dreamed it would become anywhere near as successful as it has. I started my channel as a fun hobby, and it gradually grew over time. I didn't push it, and I did not stress over it. I did not lose sleep over it. In the beginning, I made videos when I could, sometimes only publishing one each month, or sometimes even less. I remember when I got my first subscriber and I was over the moon. 1 subscriber became 5, which eventually became 10, and then which eventually became 20 and so on. But the process was slow. I was still new to the scene, and honestly, I was not very good at editing at that time. I was also using software that was 10 years old at that time, but it was what I had, so I used it. Now what I did have that no one else did was my personal brand of humor. So I did not try to copy other people's styles or jokes. I came up with my own ideas, or I created my own spin on old ideas. Too many creators try to flat out copy what they see big YouTubers doing. But the problem with that approach is that you are not going to get famous providing something that someone else already is. You have to be yourself, plain and simple. The internet hates a copycat, so don't be one. Now, after I started getting a following, I started putting out my videos on a more regular basis, typically 1 per week. This gave my fans consistency, which is absolutely huge. One thing I see a lot of small channels do is publishing videos way too frequently, like 1 per day. Now, flooding the market with videos is not good unless you are actively trying to overwhelm yourself. Besides, a day is not enough time to make a good quality video. Sometimes a week isn't enough either, but if I had made a video every day, they would have all been really short, low-quality videos. And that would not have grown my channel at all. So pace yourself. Put out good quality content when you can. Overdoing it will burn you out. Along those lines, I think the biggest thing I see small channels doing wrong is they expect to be worldwide famous right out of the gates. And that is simply not likely to happen. I am not being mean, I am being real. I saw a study that said a lot of the younger generation want nothing more in their futures than to be an influencer. Look, if you want to be an influencer, go for it, but do not hang all your hopes on that dream. The reality is that for every 1 person who makes it as a successful influencer, there are hundreds or thousands that never got noticed at all. So do not make it your only plan for your future to be a successful influencer. Instead, make a realistic plan for your future and make your content on the side as a hobby. If your content grows a following, fantastic. Grow that channel as best you can without overdoing yourself. Basically, let success happen to you while you are living your normal life. But do not make your normal life about being an influencer. Plenty of people have been driven crazy, literally crazy, trying everything they can to become internet famous. And that is a really bad place to be. So avoid that. So yeah, that's my real talk with Roscoe. I hope you got something out of that. Maybe you did, maybe not, I don't know. But I thought it would be good to share, so there it is. Thanks for listening. Now let's get back to building this fortress. So even though the new house is not yet built, I am going ahead and moving a lot of the stuff that I'm going to need into the place that I know I'm going to put it in the new house. So I have 4 ovens in the other house, and I'm going to have a total of 9 in this one. So I went ahead and built 5 more, and I'm going to start cooking even more of the cobblestone that I'm going to be using to make the bricks for this fortress. I'm also going to make all the chests that I know I'm going to need in here, which is going to be a total of 10 to start with, and I already have 3, so I'm going to go ahead and make 7 more. Come on, man. What are you doing? Nobody invited you. Out you go. Out. Go. Bye. Check out this zombie named Carl. He tried to sneak up on me, but that's the last thing Carl ever did. Dude, get up. So I've got plenty of bricks to get started with, so let's go ahead and start building the walls to our fortress. All right, there we go. We got all the walls built out. Now all we have to do is put a roof on it. Dude, what have I told you about this? Alright guys, not too shabby. We have a terrific fortress here. Let me show you around a little bit. Alright, so first we have a wooden door. Because I'm in normal difficulty and not hard difficulty, the zombies cannot break down a wooden door, so I went ahead and just used a wooden door. Otherwise I would have used a metal one. On the inside is a pressure plate, so when I leave I can just walk straight out without having to right click and open the door. And the door will close right behind me, so I don't accidentally leave it open for mobs to get in. I have my work area here. In the middle is my crafting table. I have a number of ovens here. I have yet to put in the 9th one, but I will be doing that in a second. And you can see all of my chests going around. These are all planned out, and I'll show you what I do with these. This chest here by the door is going to be for building materials and or stone or dirt or anything like that. I try to keep it organized. So these are leftover stone bricks and plenty of extra gravel and dirt should I need it. Next to that is the chest that I would consider anything to have value. So obviously diamonds, iron, things like that. Anything that you can mine, I'm going to put in this chest here. The chest next to the crafting table is going to be everything having to do with wood. So that's going to include sticks, slabs, blocks, logs, you name it. Next to that is going to be a chest for general miscellaneous stuff and anything having to do with food. And over here, this empty chest is eventually going to be everything having to do with brewing. The back room is pretty much finished as well. This is going to be where my enchantment table is going to be, along with all of the bookcases that need to go along with it. I went ahead and spaced them out just using dirt blocks so that I'll know where everything's going to go when it's time to build. I'm not at the point yet where I need to start building a nether portal, but I will be building a tunnel down here underground to house that nether portal when I get to that point. I have my bed over here in this other corner next to a ladder, which actually takes me up to the roof. And now you can see why I put all these turrets on here. The idea is you can stand here on top of the building all night and pick off mobs using your bow and arrow. And when the skeletons shoot at you, you can use these turrets to help block yourself out. This roof provides a great 360-degree view over the entire field, and you can see now why I opted to clear out all of the grass so that I can easily see what's out there. And you'll notice too, there are torches in between the turrets on top of the building. And underneath each of those torches, there's a stack of dirt down on the ground there, and I'll show you what those are for. So obviously, if you try to jump off the top of this building, you're going to take fall damage, and you might not want to do that. So what I have done here is I have put a stack of dirt under every torch, and they are spaced out just so that when you run off of the edge of the building over one of the torches, you land on one of those, you get down to the ground, no fall damage. These are not high enough that any mobs can get back up on your roof or anything like that, so it's a perfectly great way for you to get down safely and quickly without putting yourself at risk. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'm really excited to have this fortress finally in place, and I'm really excited for the next episode in which we will do more caving and probably trick out this area just a little bit more. So as always, until the next time, do something nice for somebody today, and I will see you in the next episode. Roscoe out.